Hey everybody, it's me, Briggsell. I'm on the run, or the walk home from work. Thought I'd do a vlog on the walk. Should be great. It's beautiful out there in real life. I do this walk pretty much every day, Monday to Friday. Doesn't get any easier, but it does get more beautiful in some areas, worse in others. On the left side of me, that way, is pretty much fields and such. Very nice, very beautiful. The other side, over that direction, that ain't so beautiful. Factories, juicens. Juicens is like basically a lumber yard that deal with more, like a bit of like a home base sort of thing. Then after a certain amount of time you get to the houses and such, and it turns into more of an estate rather than countryside, which, yeah, I'm pretty knackered. I've done a full day today. Weather's been pretty nice, warm and comfortable. Generally that's the way it is. This past weekend has been, well, okay, I suppose. The last past week has been fine up until Friday. Friday and the weekend was difficult. I'll go into the reasons in a minute because I'm coming to the end of the walk, so I'm kind of going to speak a little bit quick. But generally I've been, health-wise it's fine, physically fine. A little bit of an issue with my knee still. My calves are still being assholes, but generally things haven't changed, which is the way it is. So I'm interested to know about the quality of this video, because this is with a new phone that I've got. Finally upgraded my old S3 to an S4, and I just wonder what the difference is. I know the camera's a little bit better. I just wondered about the microphone and such, so that'd be interesting. Anyway, next time you see me, I'll be in the house, probably half naked because it's so fucking warm, but I'll get to actually explain the reason why this weekend has been fairly difficult. Again, see you in a bit. That was quick, wasn't it? Yes. So I'm at home, I've got changed, still a bit sweaty. What are you going to do about it? Anyway, so I needed to explain to you the reason why I had such a hard weekend. Well, last week I told you about the fact that my computer was having a tough time with life, as it were. Basically, through the uses that I put it through, and a variety of other reasons, the computer decided that it didn't want to have any more of it, and that it would kind of explode. Not explode in the sense like explosions, fire and doom and smoke and that. I mean explode in the sense that it just really kind of didn't want to work anymore properly. So I took the plunge Wednesday and I ordered some bits and stuff, and I rebuilt the machine in a new form. So the next scene you're going to see is me actually showing you what the hell it is. I'll post the specs in the description below so you can get an idea of what the actual machine is. Yeah, we'll go from there. So right, so here we are underneath the desk. The computer's in motion, as it were. We've got the power supply there, as you can see, Corsair CX750. We've got a Noctua, I can't remember what the type is, but it's a Noctua. We've got 16 gigabytes of RAM, quite cheap RAM actually, because what I did is I bought the memory, the motherboard and the CPU in a bundle, and it was a reduced bundle, so it all came together in quite a nice package, quite a cheap package as well. I was expecting the individual parts to actually come to quite a lot of money, and it turns out it's actually pretty good. The CPU in here is the 4590, I think it is, the i5 4590. It might actually be the 4670, but I can't remember because I'm an idiot. I should have really done this before, but hey, it's a decent CPU. It's not amazing, it's not fantastic, it's not super speed, something like 3.2 gigahertz i5. It's one of the newer i5s. It's on the Z87 motherboard, so it's not a brand new, because obviously the new stuff at the moment, what is it, 97 or 89? No, it's 89 at the moment, so I'd say it's about a year old. It's brand new, but the technology in here is probably about a year old. The graphics card, you can't probably see very well. You might be able to see it now. It's getting a little bit of flash. That's pretty cool flash, isn't it? Yeah, let's blind people. You can go even further in, actually. So the graphics card is a Class B Gigabyte Windforce 780 GTX or GTX 780. 3 gigabytes worth of memory. When I refer to Class B, I mean Class B, not Class A. Class A is the stuff that where you basically buy new is Class A. Class B is kind of a repaired version, or it's had some use and is second hand, basically. The reason why I got it second hand was because I didn't want to pay 400 quid for it, so I only paid a lot less, in fact. I'm not going to go into details about actually how much money I spent on this system, because hey, you know what you're going to do. But something, sorry, I got a finger there. Something that's come out of this system which I was hoping for but not expecting, and that was the fact that this system can now run Arma 3 in a fairly decent state. I say decent, it's never going to be 90 frames per second or 120 frames per second. We're talking 35, 40 frames per second to around 60 frames per second. So a very decent, and that's on ultra high settings, which in all honesty, I'll never play at ultra high settings. I'll play somewhere in the middle, medium to high sort of settings, just to get the right frame rate, just to get the right feel. This system has come together rather well. The actual creation or the putting together of this system actually didn't take very long. It only took about an hour. But where the problems came were when it came to the hard drives. Now, as you can see, I've got quite a few hard drives in here. In fact, I've got 2, 3, 4 hard drives. I've got an SSD, which is the bottom one here, and then you've got 3 other main drives, totaling about 3 terabytes, sorry, of disk space. Most of it is old. The top 3 hard drives are old. They are from the old machine. Now, I wanted to bring across the SSD that I had from my old machine, because it would have been fantastic to have 2 SSDs. One I could use for games, one I could use for the operating system. This is where Friday and Saturday turned into a bit of a heavy kind of session, as it were, because no matter what I could do, I couldn't get my original SSD, which had my original operating system on Windows 8, sorry. I couldn't get it to boot because of a variety of different reasons. The main reason being was that it was old and it was kind of on its way out. It was one of the bits that I thought I could possibly lose, hence why I bought a new SSD, just to make sure that I actually had one. Because nowadays what you do with new systems is you buy an SSD for the operating system, so that when you boot into the machine, when you boot it up, it actually is really quite quick. So there we go. The case is the Corsair Vengeance C70. It's in the military green. It's a fantastic case. I recommend this case for anyone because of 2 really good reasons. In fact, I can think of a third as well. The first reason is this case has got handles, so you can actually carry it around from the top of the case without having to unwieldingly try and maneuver it, because it is quite a heavy case. It's made from quite a tough material. You can see for yourself how tough it is. There's the actual side of the case. The second reason is on these sides of the case, they've got catches rather than holes for the screwing. which means that if you look at the top of the machine, I don't know if you can see it, you can see the little lip there. Those lips you fasten onto the bars, the black bars you see. That means that each side of the case can be literally unfastened without any problems whatsoever. That is a really good feature to have. I'm surprised I've never seen that before, although I'm sure there are quite a few out there that do this. The third main reason is that this case is actually quite huge. There is a lot of space. You can see how far the 780 is to the fans on the right. It's quite close, but this 780 is probably one of the biggest cards you're going to get. So if your card is bigger than this 780, then you may have a tough time getting it into this box. But anything that's less than something like 280 millimeters, then you're going to have a good time putting it in. It's got quite a few fans. It's got 3 fans, 2 there at the front, 1 at the back. Obviously, there can be fitted at least another 2 up at the top. That's where the grate is. You could probably fit another 2 on the actual case wall. I haven't had any problems with heat wise. The graphics card is the only thing that gets really hot, and we're talking probably about 60 degrees Celsius at the maximum when it's at full load and it's been going for a few minutes. The CPU doesn't go over 40, as you can see with the 2 fans on the heatsink, which is fantastic, and generally it's a very, very enjoyable machine to use. It's quick, it's responsive, it does exactly what you want it to do. Obviously the main issue that I had was my issue, really, rather than the issue with this machine in particular. It was my issue. We figured it out, hence why we do it. I will show you some footage of games at a later time. You may have already seen some Company of Heroes 2 footage. That was old footage. That was footage taken from before. I am getting together some more footage to show you in regards to the new update to this machine. Arma 3 is on the list to do. I'm thinking about playing it again. I haven't decided whether I want to or not. Anyway, this has been a really boring video for some people who have no idea and don't give a shit about any of this, but I'm hoping you enjoyed it nonetheless. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, everybody, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.